TGIM and welcome to week 39. This is a pretty pivotal week that we have up ahead because it's not just the end of the month, but it's also the end of the third quarter, which can always lead to a little bit of window dressing in regards to kind of quarterly end flows, expiries, and so on. Key thing, obviously, on everyone's mind is going to be the Fed, which will come through Wednesday in the U.S., early Thursday, our Asia kind of time. Less about the hike, really going to be more about the press conference afterwards, see if there's any kind of change in estimations. And then, of course, following that, also later in the week, Powell will actually be giving testimony before the Senate on the state of the U.S. kind of economy. So that's going to be very much centerfold. We're still kind of digesting the last round of trade tariffs from the U.S. towards China. China, of course, tagged the U.S. back. Question now is, will Trump act on that retaliation, if you will, and then come forward with an extra set of tariffs on $267 billion? And then also, how will that be done? Will that be flagged well in advance, as we kind of had with the previous one, which basically led us to rallying last week, as also things came in less worse than expected at 10% versus 25%? Or will he somehow kind of step that up? Moving back to this kind of week on the central bank side, we already talked about the Fed. We'll also have the RBNZ. Probably a bit of a non-event given the kind of blowout GDP figures last week, but do bear in mind GDP is backward looking. I continue to remain skewed on the dovish side on the RBNZ. Expect further rate hikes out of the likes of the Philippines as well as Indonesia, kind of going through with our macro Monday view that we've had for a while, and this EM central bank skew towards being hawkish, whether they like to or not. And then we'll also get final GDP figures from the likes of the US, the UK, CPI flashes out of the Eurozone, PCE out of the US, and that's going to be the key kind of focus for the rest of the week. Positioning and price action lies continue to like SEKI kind of strength, downside in Euro SEKI, shorts in Danish krona versus the Swedish krona, or long SEKI DKK. I think that still has a lot more room to run, both fast tactically and as well as slow structurally, and then continue to kind of favor this US global macro dominance, which I still think is very much in play. Would not mistake the tactical for the strategic. Have a great week up ahead.